Have you ever heard the saying, a still cup gets filled? Well, today we had an opportunity to talk to Liz Ring Carlson, who is the Vice President of Corporate Communications at Ameritas, which is a Lincoln organization here in Nebraska. And she shares with us the reasons why she is going to participate in the Ignite Conference, the things that she's learned through her life journey, and how resilience and being rooted and resilient is so important to her. You don't want to miss this episode. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Kara Kirsch, the founder and host of the Ignite Women in Business and Insurance podcast. We are in Omaha, Nebraska, and it is a balmy 40 degrees today. So we're all pretty excited about not having to wear our big puffy coats and our hats, although I did wear a puffy coat, and then I realized I was sweating on the way here. So I quickly took that off. As everybody knows, the conference is coming up March 3rd, 2026, and we're taking some time to be really intentional about talking to our speakers, our panelists, our community partners, so that everyone can learn a little bit in advance of what they can gain if they participate in the conference. You can buy a ticket to the conference on Eventbrite. You can also contact me on LinkedIn. And anyone who would like to attend and perhaps cannot afford a ticket or a company won't sponsor you, you can reach out to me. I'm happy to sponsor your ticket. And so today we have a longtime friend and colleague, Liz Ring Carlson. Hi, Liz.
Hi there. I'm so excited to be here.
So excited to have you. Liz is the Vice President of Corporate Communications and et cetera at Ameritas, which is a Nebraska company that I do business with and love. And she's also a certified global mindset and leadership coach. And Liz and I actually met in 1995 or 6 and didn't realize it until we re-met again. So, Liz, we're so excited to have you today. Tell us about you.
Well, thank you, first of all. I am so excited to be here and to be part of Ignite in 2026. I was thinking about it on the drive up from Lincoln.
We had 2 Lincoln guests today.
Oh, that's awesome.
Crazy.
Very cool. But just to tell you a little bit about me, first, I have been in the insurance and financial industry for almost 30 years, which makes me feel like 100 years old, because I remember when people used to say they've been in insurance for almost 30 years, but it is flowing by. I mean, it just goes so fast, but I love it. I'm grateful to be in it. I've worked both for State Farm Insurance, and now I work at Ameritas. And what I love about it is that, you know, we're taking care of customers. You have your team. There's so much camaraderie. There's personal growth and development. But most of all, you know, that you feel like you're helping people live. And at Ameritas, it's a fulfilling life. You know, you're helping people really plan for the future. I am somebody who loves to be, you know, active in their community. So I do serve on a lot of boards. Education, especially early childhood, are issues that I'm really passionate about. So I serve as an advisory member to our Superintendent's Advisory Council for Lincoln Public Schools. I also serve as an advisor on the University of Nebraska President's Advisory Council. I'm on Lincoln Little's board, which really helps the child care issues that Lincoln and Nebraska and the United States are facing right now, all the challenges with early childhood and daycare. And then Echo Collective is also a board that I serve on, and that helps immigrant women start their own businesses, which really feeds my entrepreneurial spirit and allows me to help those women that are learning that they have a voice and that they can dream big. And so that's just been an exciting way to be involved as well. But most importantly, I am a wife and mother of 3 teenagers. They keep me hopping.
You still have all your hair. I'm so proud of you.
Yes. There's a little bit more gray in there, even though I am coloring it these days.
Right.
But yeah, so my oldest is 19, and she's a freshman at the University of Nebraska studying in the College of Business, which I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
And my other daughter is a junior in high school, and my son is a 7th grader. But we are in full swing basketball season with the 2 younger ones, and that's our life right now, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. And your husband is a community man too, right?
He is. He works at the University Foundation in Lincoln for the College of Engineering. That's a great catalyst and economic driver for the state of Nebraska.
Yes.
The engineering building is beautiful.
Yes.
And then he also is the chairman of the Lincoln City Council. So
wow.
Busy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very busy. Well, that's one of the things. I mean, I admire so many things about you, but that is one of the things that I admire so much is just your commitment to our community. And I love the specificity around early childhood, kids, and women.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have that very much in common. And our ability now as seasoned professionals and seasoned community contributors, we can do it different and teach people about that. And I love that. And that's one of the things I'm excited for our Ignite guests to hear from you. But I'm most excited to have them hear your story around resilience because, I think sometimes people tell themselves a story when they see women like us. If I look at you today, and for those of you on YouTube, you can see her. But for those that aren't, she is, I'm tall. I'm 5'10". She's got heels on, so she's about my height. And when I look at her, I think of, Miss America.
Oh.
And because she is always so together. And I think for women, that's something we use as a way to show up, of course. And we all enjoy feeling our best, looking our best, and that kind of thing. But when women see us, they tell themselves, oh, it's easy. Whatever she's done has been, it's been easy for her. And they don't know what the grind was. They don't know what the story was behind the beauty that they might see in front of you. And so I'd love for you to give our listeners just, a sneak peek, not your whole story.
Okay.
But what drew you to the conference and what made you want to share your story that aligns with our theme of rooted and resilient?
Well, I think you hit on it when you started out the question, because I had a mantra for years, especially as a young professional, to work hard and play hard. That was my drumbeat. Like, if you work hard, you'll be successful. I want to play hard and have a great life. And that was working for me for a long time. I grew my career. I climbed the corporate ladder. I had the 3 kids. I was involved in the community. Everything seemed to be kind of clicking, but it was hard work. And, I wasn't always happy on the inside. I might have looked like I was smiling on the outside, but inside I was stressed. My nervous system was really anxious. There's a lot of talk about fascia these days. My fascia was always tight. It still is. I'm not perfect by any means yet.
Yeah.
But these are things I'm working on. It is a journey, and it's awareness, having that awareness. And for me, especially in my 40s, those things all started to accelerate at a pace that wasn't sustainable. So as you climb the corporate ladder, yes, you have more people on your team to help you with work, or you are more strategic and whatnot, but the issues and the challenges become greater and more complex. The world is also more complex. So I had that pillar that was accelerating really fast. That came with a lot of new stress and challenges. My kids were growing up, and they were becoming just as active as Justin and I were, with sports, student council, music, all of that. So you have all of those things happening. And I know I'm not alone. Every working mother out there is going through these challenges. And then I had my husband's career and his community involvement as well. All of those were kind of accelerating at the same time. And the only person that I felt like I could cancel on was myself. And so I stopped, going to the gym, or I would hit a yoga class once a month, or I would eat from the vending machine instead of taking the time to get away from my desk and grabbing something healthy like a salad or chicken or salmon or something.
Taking a walk outside.
Yes, being outside for a little bit. I just would grind and grind and grind. And that seemed to me to be less controversial to cancel on myself than to move a deadline at work, or let somebody down in my family, or let a friend down, or my supervisor. Like, that seemed easier to me. But in the long run, what it did is my body finally gave out. And a few years ago, I had 2 back surgeries. And that was really traumatic for me because I never really had any back pain or anything, an injury that I can point to. I've fallen a few times because I'm kind of klutzy, but it wasn't like I was in a car accident or I'd fallen down, a staircase at work or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was more of COVID-19, working really long hours, carrying all this stress. What I'll talk about a little bit is these paradigms that I was telling myself I needed to do in order to be successful.
Yeah.
And my back gave out.
Yeah.
And it's almost, it's symbolic for what was going on in my life.
Right. Because the back is such an important part of everything.
And it was right at the root chakra too, which if you are into yoga, that's around security and protection and money and all of that.
Right.
So.
Let me ask you a question, and I didn't put this in our overview, but you made me think of it. Did your daughters, I know your son is younger, and I love that, the baby. I mean, I can imagine the level of spoiling that happens there, but we'll talk about that on a different episode. Did your daughters ever notice, and did they ever say anything to you? You know, I had a time with my daughter where she said something, and it was moving, I thought, out of the mouths of babes. But did your kids ever notice that you might not have been okay?
Yes, we have a pretty open family. We talk about everything. I mean, we're 5 extroverts living under one roof.
Good times.
Yes, but I think my kids, especially during COVID, really saw what it was like to be Liz. I was suddenly in the dining room. We were doing crisis communication to move everybody home. I was working really long hours. They started to know the voices of different leaders at my company and knew when and when they couldn't come into the room. They would see me working long hours because when you say you're going to work, they don't know really what's happening.
No.
But they saw it during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And at that time, schools had shut down. And so my kids were littler, middle school and elementary at the time. And thank goodness for my oldest daughter, because she basically became the babysitter and the teacher in the household because I was working, and she was setting up the Zooms for the little kids and doing all of that. And we talked a lot about burnout and exhaustion, and we would go on walks, and we were trying to figure out how to all handle it differently.
Yeah.
So you do learn from your kids. And that's one reason I'm so dedicated to this work now is I don't want my daughters or my son to go through these old stories that we tell ourselves about success. Yes, expectations and what does success really mean. Right. I don't want them to. So
no, I don't either.
I'm studying this and I'm sharing what I'm learning. I'm trying to help them navigate college in a healthy way as well as high school.
Yeah.
Because the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And I see some of my traits in them.
Yeah. The things we taught that we said we didn't want to.
Yes.
So I'm a recovering perfectionist.
Me too.
And I instilled a little of that in my daughter. And I've had to say things to her. And, we struggle just because she is such an independent force. And so am I. And I've had to take the back seat to her independence because I don't want to minimize it. And I don't want her to feel judged or guilted by me. I just want her to know that I'm there. Now, there are certain things I expect as part of that, but I said to her, even as recent as last weekend, she was complaining about something. I said, why do you care about this? And she's like, well, she's my friend. So I had to do it because she's my friend. And I said, you don't enjoy her company. There is no value to you. And she's like, well, I just thought you just go. And I'm like, no. If you have no value, first of all, relationships are seasonal. Yeah. And so there will be people that come in and out of your life. And secondly, that's okay. Doesn't mean you don't like that person. Doesn't mean they don't like you. It just means that they're not in your season. And you need to be around people right now who are lifting you up. You're going through a difficult time anyway as a single mother. And you don't need people that are sucking more life from you. You don't have much to give. Yep. And she's like, oh. Now, I don't know if she'll do something different. But I think just me saying, why do you care about that? It does sort of create a different narrative. But there have been lots of parenting things that I created that now I'm like, full stop on that.
Yep.
Well, one of the reasons that I wanted you to be part of Ignite this year, I know you've attended before. And, the second time we met was at an organization in Lincoln called Rise that was founded by our good friend Katie Ozlakowski, who we love. I had gone to that event, and I can't remember if it was the time I spoke or that I was just there. And I saw you, and I'm like, this woman is so familiar to me. And I remembered that I worked at State Farm in an agent's office, Don Moore, and you were a trainer. Yes. And I had gone to some training. And so that's why we met so early, but then we connected again. And interestingly, the bouts of our friendship have been moments, but now I feel like we're together. And I say that because on November 10th, when I was let go from my job, one of the only people I called was you.
Wow.
And the reason I called you is because I knew that I know that you love me, and I know that you think I'm great, and I know that my greatness doesn't make you feel some type of way, and I know you were going to be honest. And the thing you said to me was this: fear is not faith. I had already asked you to be part of Ignite, but when you said that to me, I thought, you'll be in my life forever, and I will always support and love you because of that day. because you're right.
Yeah.
Fear is not faith.
Yeah.
It's the reason we're sitting here today. And so having you be part of the conference is going to be so awesome, not only for me, but for all of the women that are going to be there. But your friendship has been so important to me, and I'm so very grateful. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. And I'm just incredibly proud of you for everything that you've been doing and accomplishing. And I can't wait to see your star rise even further. But I was, on my drive up here, I was thinking about our friendship as well, and, why I chose to even go as a participant to Ignite,
Yeah.
and to participate this year, and you are the reason. I need you to understand that, like, you are a firecracker, and that's what I love about you. I love your energy, and I think that a lot of times, you were talking about me being Miss America and all that, which is very flattering because I don't always feel it, but that's really kind. But I look at you as somebody who's incredibly driven, and I think that is so admirable and sexy and brilliant.
Well, thank
And
you.
I think that's what people see when they see you. I think they see a very driven woman. But what your friends also get to see is that you also have a really big heart inside of you. And I think it's that excellence and that empathy that you have together that makes you so good at what you do, which is employee benefits and helping companies be better, and your passion for women, and that you really want to help working women thrive. And so I just think that's brilliant and love it. So
thank you so much. Gosh.
So warm fuzzy back to you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We all need it.
We do.
And especially, when we go through significant changes in our lives that we weren't expecting and may kick us in the teeth, we definitely need those women beside us who are like, you need a hand up. Like, I can hold your hand while you're moving through this, or I can be a shoulder that you might need. And I think as women, we're also afraid to do that for fear that vulnerability might be used against us later.
Yeah, I
is,
agree with that.
remember the time I was there for you, or, a sort of a get back if ever there needs to be, and that is not okay. And so the more we can break that down, I think the better we'll be too. Mm-hmm. This year at the conference, we're focused on rooted and resilient. And, what would be something that you say is keeping you rooted?
Oh, wow. There's lots of things. You touched on one of them, which is community, but I want to come back to that in a second. I think first and foremost, my family is my biggest why. It's why I do what I do. And so taking time in the morning, and this has only been my practice for 2 years,
and
getting up early.
Get ready, you guys, because she asked me to do this with her, and I was like,
I know. I used to be a night owl since high school was a night owl. And people
Weren't we all a night owl in high school?
I even have a friend who used to call me Late Liz, not only because I would show up late sometimes, but because I loved the evening hours. I would get so creative in the evening.
Wow.
But I decided to switch, after I'd gone through, some of the low points I described earlier, to being a morning person. And my mornings really ground me now. I'm part of the Napoleon Hill Institute's self-discipline camp, which is every morning at 5:30 a.m. in lots of different time zones around the world. But it gives you time to meditate, which is something that's really hard for me. I have a busy mind.
Mine too.
So if I'm not on a yoga mat with some kind of guided voice helping me decompress, it's hard for me. But it's the more you practice it, the easier it gets.
I agree. And I tell everyone that who says, I'll say, do you meditate? No, I can't do that. Well, how many times have you tried it? Oh, 5.
Yes.
You're probably going to need to try it 20 times.
Well,
if it's something that you think will bring value to you. Yes.
Definitely. And something that really helped me understand that was this poem my yoga teacher read to me not too long ago. And I'm not going to get it perfect, but basically the gist of it was, you need to be a still cup. Like, think of a cup and saucer. You need to be a still cup, because that way God can pour all the blessings into your cup. He can refill your cup so that you can go out in the world and do amazing things. And when you're busy, or your mind is busy, or you're distracted, your cup is jiggly and moving around, and you're not going to notice all the things that are coming into it. There's going to be spillage of energy. You're not going to be able to really collect everything that you're supposed to. Yes. And so that's given me a lot of motivation to make sure I have that quiet time in the morning. So anyway, we do meditation. We do gratitude. It's set to music, which I think helps open up my heart and my spirit.
Yeah.
We write our goals, which really help me focus and have intention with the day. I think of like the 3 things that I really want to take inspired action on. which is important because in the past, I would just have a to-do list that was 100 pages long, and I would just do until I burned out. And now I look at what are those things that are really going to move me forward at work, really going to move our household forward, and really going to move Liz, because I'm also working on my own projects outside of work. I'm creating what's called the Mom Boss Method. I'm working on a book. So I have other things that I really want to drive forward, but I don't want to do it the same way I did things 3 years ago and burn out and have back surgeries and eye surgeries and all of that. I want to do it in a healthy way. And that morning really sets me up for the day. So that's how I put in my roots in the morning so that I can grow in the day and hopefully rise to the woman I want to become.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there's so many things that you said in there that are so great. I love the still cup analogy. One other one that I've loved in my life is, it's not a poem, but it's the thought of all the balls that we're juggling and the glass balls and the rubber balls. And the glass balls, if you drop them, it's going to take a lot of work to put them back together. But the rubber ones can drop and you can pick them back up.
I like that.
And the other thing I'll say about is that I used to view quiet time and alone time as lonely. But now I view it as peace. Because quiet time actually allows me to rest. And rest is what we need to do great things. And the last thing I'll say is that I, too, adopted a 3 to 5 task list a day. And if I got those done, I was good. I'm like 3 things. Because everything else, I'm not a heart surgeon. I don't have a heart in my bag. Everything else, I will get to it. And everyone who knows me knows that I will. And if ever I don't get to it in a time that someone needs me to, I know they're going to say, hey, Kara, I know you're busy. Could you move that up on the priority list? And my response 9 times out of 10 is, of course. And so I think we don't know that enough when we're young women, because as young women, we're like, the world expects me to do this and this and this and this. And I read this book once. It's called For the Love. Have you read it?
Oh, I have to write it down.
You got to write it down. So it is, as the saying goes, for the love of God. Like, and the woman who writes it is a spiritual woman. And her first opening section, she writes this: I'm a mom, I'm a mother, I am a woman, a businesswoman, da-da-da-da. I wake up at 5 in the morning, I do a 1-hour run, then I get up and make my kids their organic lunches that I grew in my garden in the back, and then I get my husband off to work, make his coffee, then I go back to my room, shower up, get myself glammed for the day, go to work, give to everyone else, have a lunch with someone, come back home, feed my children a fully sustaining meal, take another run, wait for my husband to come home, go to bed, have sex with him, wake up, like this whole day of
crazy.
Yes.
Unrealistic.
And then she's like, hell no. It's enough. And it has sat with me so much. Oh, I forgot. She went to Costco in there too. Like everything that was in her day. And there was literally no time for her at any point to be with herself or to do anything that, quite candidly, fulfilled her bucket.
I even saw a meme where it took it further, where she was doing like red light therapy.
Yeah.
She was on her vibrating plate.
Right.
Like all these things that we're told to do. And
it's too much.
Yeah, it's insane.
But we're not taught to rest.
No.
We are not. And that is something that I have really been practicing. And prayer has helped me a ton. Advent is a time of stillness and waiting. And we're waiting for something so beautiful. And
even though our culture just speeds up, I love that our faith tells us to slow down, and nature tells us to slow down too.
It totally does. And what's interesting is, as I launched the Kirsch Group, someone asked me, well, what do you want it to be? Okay. And I think they were expecting me to be like this. I want to be this $5 million, blah, 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 blah. And yes, I do have a vision of it becoming a big company. Okay. But not because of the money, because there's so much hard work to be done, and I want my people with me. And there's a lot of my people in the industry. They might not even know it yet. But the second part of that is they said, well, but what do you want, Kara? Like, what do you want materially? And I'm like, well, I don't want a bigger house. I love my house. It's not $1 million house. It's perfect for me. I always want to have a cool car because I'm a car girl. I don't need 5 cars. I just need one cool one. I need to be able to love on my people And that means that if I go somewhere and I want to give to the waitress, I'm going to do that. And if that means that my kids want weights for their garage, I'm going to have those delivered. And if that means that for me, I want to go to the spa and I want to take a friend who might not be able to do it that month, I'm going to pay for her. That's what I care about.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like as long as I live like that, the blessings are going to be abundant.
I 100% agree.
And the more that I spend time in what are my roots. So I took my photo shoot for the website.
Yeah.
Did I share it with you?
No, but I saw some sneak peeks on social and you look amazing.
Thank you. And so I went to my mom's office to take the pictures. And a lot of people were like, well, why didn't you go here? And I'm like, you don't understand. That building is rooted in 5 generations of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And there's a dedication wall that I want in my building someday. Mm-hmm. And so I'll be writing a dedication to my legacy of family entrepreneurs. And I took pictures by that wall. And I also took Curse Transportation's conference rooms are labeled after the cities that we're from and places we've done business. And Osmond, Nebraska, which is where I'm from, is one of those places. Mm. And so I took a picture in front of that Osmond sign with my grandmother's brooch on. And I'm going to write a tribute to the people in that town who helped me in my greatness. And there's one specific teacher that I want to give tribute to, Beth Manzer, who changed my life. Mm-hmm. She believed in me. She saw greatness in me. And, that was the time, teenage women, it's a hard time. Mm-hmm. You have hormones and you have all the things. And so I just share all of that because that is rooted and resilient. That is a demonstration of it. And I'm so excited at Ignite this year to share the story of that with the women that are there. I wasn't going to do the keynote. Did I tell you that?
I want you to do the keynote.
I wasn't going to do it.
Why?
Before all of this happened.
Okay, yes.
And my friend Molly said, as we were planning, we really need someone who recently got fired. I don't know. And so I was like, bitch, that's me. Well, and so now, even though, I got let go, I don't feel sad about that now because I believe it was God saying, you're ready and you've screwed around long enough.
Sometimes we're so loyal.
Yes. Yeah. And out I go. And so you cannot believe how much fire I have for this year's conference because it is going to be vulnerable and authentic and the biggest garden party Kentucky Derby theme you've ever seen.
Oh, fun.
That's our theme.
Okay. So I love that you wore a brooch for your photo shoot because I'm trying to bring brooches back, man. I got my peacock on.
Mine was blue.
Oh, nice.
And turquoise. And I called my mother when I was going to do the photo shoot and I was like, hey, do you have anything of grandma's? Do you have a brooch? And she's like, actually, I do. Oh, and so she brought it to work. And she had wrapped it so beautifully for me.
I can't wait to go look at those photos again now that I know this story.
Yeah.
I love it.
I can't wait to share the story of that on my website because this isn't just a boutique employee benefits firm. This is a movement towards serving the employer in a better way, a more honest way. Yeah. And I'm so excited about that.
I have no doubt that you'll do great things.
Well,
no doubt. I do want to go back to something you talked about with community because I think a lot of, executive women and entrepreneurs think they have to do it all alone. And I know I did at least. Like, you didn't really want to ask for help.
Right.
It looked like a sign of weakness if I didn't have my house in order or my kids' schedule in order. If I think we just feel like that there's some story running through our mind that we have to do it alone. And I have found in the last 4 years that if you do have a great community of women around you and men, I have a great men in my life as well.
Yeah, me too.
But I've really worked hard to look at who are the women in my life that I can count on and how do I nurture that? And I've done that informally and also formally. Like my friend Carolyn and I, we've started a new group of women in Lincoln. It's called Cocktails and Conversations.
Yes.
And it started.
Was she the woman you introduced me to? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I want to come to that.
You have to come. And it's evolving into 2026 to the Encore Society where there's going to be professional development and networking. But even, the support I've seen in that, I think every woman was hungry for a community that they could rely on and be vulnerable in and not have it be used against them, what you had said earlier, that it's a trust that they're there to support. Just the other night, one of the women's grandsons got hurt and sliced his face open. And she texted me, I met a plastic surgeon at your event and I need her now. I need that woman to come help me. I texted the plastic surgeon. She's like, I'm on my way. She's in our community. And she went over and took care of the grandson. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what it's about. Like being there for each other.
Absolutely.
And it was just absolutely in awe. Even coming up to this podcast, 3 of them texted me good luck and how much they were so excited to hear our podcast when it goes out live, because they love me and care about me and want me to be successful just like I want them to be successful.
Yeah.
So you might have to start your own community or you can join one, but you need to nurture that and know that we're meant to be in community. We're not meant to do everything alone.
Especially women.
Yes.
We don't build community. It's different for us. And we do have to show up differently for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to lean into a little bit of what you said around, not asking for help. And I was that person too. I think that's a Gen X thing. Are you Gen X?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's a Gen X thing. And this is why. And for me, Gen X was the first generation of people to have both parents work and to have divorce. My parents didn't get divorced.
Mine didn't either.
And my mom worked.
Yeah.
And she started working when I was 5. And we had a lot of responsibility. And there was a lot of unsaid responsibilities. So did you have a list that your mom left? Did your mom work?
She did for part of it. But yes, we always had a list of things.
A list of chores every day. And don't not get those done.
Oh, no.
They're done and done well, properly. There is an unsaid, I think in my home, I'm the oldest child and the only daughter. And I tell my parents this now, I would give nothing for the greatness of my upbringing, even though it was hard. Because my parents taught me so many lessons and things. But in our home, I tell my parents now, there was an unsaid responsibility for greatness. And I think now that's why I'm like, the goal is greatness. That doesn't mean it's going to be a straight line or perfect, but that's the goal. When I show up every day, if I showed up just, I think I'll just trudge through this day, absolutely not. There is greatness to be had in this day, and I don't know what that might be, but I'm here for it. And if ever I can't, I give myself the grace to bow out. So I'm like, you know what? Not a great day for me. I'm going to stay here and deal with what I'm going through and go on. But I think that that's the reason why the fierce independence that we grew up with, that carried over and created a mentality that was, we get it done on our own. And I want young women to know that's not needed. So
it's
I want to break that down for my daughter and all young women when they're like, I'm struggling with this. Well, let's reach out to this person. They know how to do that. Or let's do this. They know what to do. Or this woman has this experience. Let me bring her with me so she can be exposed to. The first year we had young women at Ignite was 3 years ago, I think. And we had women from Creighton, UNO, and Metro, and maybe Midland. And we asked. So end of the event, and I'm like, I know these women don't want me to ask them anything because they're nervous, but because I remember those times. But I said, hey, you're a student, right? Yep, stand up. So she stood up, and I said, what'd you think about today? And she said, I didn't know women did this. And it was from that point forward that my commitment to young women changed, because I was like, okay, full stop. The tickets for young women are going to be less. The entry point for them is going to be easier. I'm going to reach out to their colleges to let them know that we're doing this. If they reach out to me and they can't afford it, I'm going to pay for their ticket. I'm all in on young women because I never want them to feel like I did.
No.
I never want them to feel like they can't raise their hand and ask for help.
Yeah.
Tell us about a time when either you asked for help and were surprised, or you helped a young woman who reached out to you.
Well, I think for me, I am most grateful for a lot of mothers that have helped me along the way. When I was traveling for work, or I was, preparing for a big meeting, I would have, I was trying to do it all. And sometimes I would be running out of the elementary school, hopping on a conference call, all of that craziness that we've all gone through. But I really have developed a great sense of friends in our neighborhood who...
And I love your neighborhood, by the way. If I lived in Lincoln, I would live there. Where is it?
It's like Central Lincoln. I feel really lucky.
And you always wanted to live there.
Yes.
Because when we reconnected the first time, you didn't live there.
I did not. No.
And you're always like, I want to live in Central Lincoln. I'm like, what is
That's
Central
another
Lincoln?
podcast of taking walks where you want to live and trying to touch your dream, whatever it is. Or for you, maybe it's test driving a Porsche and touching your dream and knowing that someday you'll have that. But for me, going back to that group of women, they are always willing to film my kid when they're, doing something at school and I'm not able to be there, or picking up my kids, for the early shift of basketball, and maybe I pick up them after practice because that works better with work. Having friends you can rely on, that give and take like that.
Oh, I love it.
But for younger women, that's a passion of mine too. And I'm really fortunate. I can't even count how many interns anymore. My interns are now having their own kids and families because they've grown up, and I've worked so long.
Love it.
But helping them think about, life in college, their career path, preparing for interviews, just telling them all the secrets that help me have success. And that's always been something I've loved with all of the interns that I've ever had.
I agree.
Bringing them to events with me, whether it's a chamber lunch or a Rise event for women in networking, or Ignite, sharing these opportunities so that they get exposure early. Because I did have that. People would have me come to the different women's leadership conferences when I was young, and I would learn and grow from those experiences.
Well, and teaching young women the pitfalls.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
So like, you're invited to a happy hour, you're not getting drunk there. No. We have a different privilege. Yeah. We have a different responsibility when we go. Your male counterparts might be able to do whatever they want and make inappropriate jokes, and that's not you.
Yeah, you need to think about your personal
You've got to
brand.
think about your personal brand and what that represents. And we've all made mistakes in it. I've definitely gone to parties where I drank too much and said things that I was like, ee. But we learn from it. We grow from it. We try not to repeat it,
Yeah.
What are the key messages you're bringing to Ignite?
I think the key message I want to bring to the women at Ignite is around, you can be successful in life. You can have this life of vitality without burning out. But you have to do it in a very intentional way. If you just drift or you just go, you're either going to be lost and not really feel fulfilled, or you're going to be burned out. And I went that route, and I don't recommend it. So I'm going to talk about a framework that I've developed to help women go through that. I'm going to share some stories, talk about getting vulnerable, of failures that I've had and have had to learn and grow through. So that hopefully there's somebody in the audience can connect with it and learn from it and move forward and have that life, that best life that they can have.
Yeah. It's interesting because we're doing two things this year that I'm really excited about. The panel, obviously, we've created a smaller panel this year. So we're only having 3 panelists. And one of the panelists is one of the original committee members at Ignite, who isn't on the committee anymore for her own choice. And she's welcome back anytime. But she went through it. And I asked her to be on the panel. And she was like, but Kara, I didn't really do good when I was going through it. I'm like, you're standing. Let's start there. Because a lot of women that we know and love perhaps aren't. And I want you to talk about what you need from people, what people can do for their friends, loved ones, family who went through what you went through. Because that's where I feel like I failed her, is I wasn't there enough. And part of it was because I didn't know what to do. And part of it was because it was hard. She wasn't okay. And I wanted to have fun. And life isn't always fun.
Correct.
Sometimes you got to sit in it and move through it. And so she was like, but is that okay for me to talk about that? I'm like, we need it. We need to know how we can show up for women. And we need to know what you would have needed and still need from the community of women that are there, because those are your people. And she was like, okay, that's different than I've ever done before. I've also invited 2 women to speak who are not polished, renowned speakers. And I'm very excited about them. And I'm realizing that because I want that, I'm going to have to spend a little more time with those women to prepare them for that day. Because I want them to be successful in the day and feel great about it. And I want to feel great about it too. And I have a role in that.
Well, if you need help, let me know, because I would love to help you be successful.
I would love that.
Yeah.
And so those are some differences. The other thing is that prior to the panel, we're going to do an event, an activity, and we're going to allow people the opportunity to think about some of the things that the theme is this year. Where are your roots? When are you resilient? What have you grown through? And they're going to take those and take them into their life. Because sometimes, too, we forget the things that we've done that create the resilience and strength that we are.
Yeah. And I would tell you, having gone through 2 health challenges, In the beginning, I was like, why is this happening to me?
Right.
What did I do to deserve this? Those thoughts go through your mind, and they should. It's part of the process. But, after I started seeking and searching, whether that was more prayer time or more journaling or talking to friends or family, I realized, I needed to shift the question to like, what am I learning from this? And that was huge for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is sometimes we don't get that quiet time.
Mm-hmm.
So to have that in the conference where they can do some self-reflection, I think that's a good thing. They can
Yeah.
kind of unplug from the day job and think about where they are in their life and reflect on everything that's good. And then, what did they learn in 2025?
Totally. Well, my yogi will be there to offer the intention at the beginning of the day.
Nice.
And she's amazing. So I'm so excited about that. There was something that you said there that I wanted to lean into, but of course my menopause.
Well, that's okay. I have the same thing that happened to me a couple times. I want to go back to the lady that you were talking about, what women need when they're going through a crisis.
Yeah.
Because I did have people reach out to me, and I didn't really know what to tell folks when you're in it, because you're just kind of in your own emotions.
Yeah.
But I had a couple women that really did step into it. And one of them, she's actually the one that got me involved in the Napoleon Hill Institute later on. I didn't really know her that well. She was like my Arbonne consultant. But she could tell through social media that I wasn't the same Liz. And she got in her car and drove over to my house and said, are you okay? Do you need anything? I'm going to take you on a walk. You need to get outside. You've been in your bed. And she is a physical therapist by trade, so she knew I needed to start moving, but just almost became a director for me. Like, I'm going to get you into this physical therapist that is the best. And she has a 3-month waiting list, but you can't have PT for 3 more months. So let's get on her list now. Like, she just kind of helped me make some decisions that I was paralyzed with. And,
well, because it's so overwhelming. There's so many decisions to make. You get decision fatigue, and then you can't make any.
So for her to be that way.
And burnout causes that. I don't know if you knew that, but burnout causes the inability to make decisions. I know it because I got super burned out in my career.
Yeah.
Like I said, the kick I got on November 10th was a kick, but it wasn't a bad kick. It was a combo kick. Like two punch. It was a, what do they call it?
Was it like the karate kick?
It was like 2-pack. So they call it something. But anyway, I was so burnt out, and I'd been so vocal about my burnout at work, and I felt so unheard in it. And I can see there were days when I had to not go to work because I was like, I can't make any decisions today. I can't decide anything. And so I would literally have to not go to things. And I would say to Molly, like, she was like, didn't you have something today? I'm like, yeah, I didn't go. And she's like, well, who did the meeting? I'm like, someone else. And she was like, you didn't go to a client meeting? And I'm like, I couldn't. And she's like, what do you mean you couldn't? And so I would tell her, and I think for her, understanding that was hard, just like it's hard to understand what people go through because we're not going through it. But she was always, so supportive and loving, but I had to do that for me.
Yeah.
And I should have seen the signs looking back on it now, and even saying that, like, I would not go because I couldn't do anymore. I was just done. And I was done not only burning myself, but not getting the support I needed to do the greatness that I wanted to do.
I think that was your soul whispering to you.
Yes, it totally was.
I think it's easy to miss it when you're in the moment. Like, my body was whispering to me for a long time. I think in that case, your soul was, and you probably, it's easy to be Monday morning quarterback. Probably needed to pause and reset months before that.
Yeah.
But again, we don't recognize it sometimes in ourselves. We need a community. We need friends. We need quiet time.
Well, and sometimes we just push through it, and I think that's not good.
It's not good.
No. And so that is something I'm trying not to do with this journey, is just push through it, because there have been so many emotions I've had, betrayal, sadness, anger, just a lot of emotions because of the work that I did and the contribution I made and all of the things and what I'm going to have to go through for the next 2 years during my non-solicit period and, those things. And so I'm excited. The timing of the Kirsch group, the timing of Ignite are perfect this year, because I am going to be able to be so vulnerable, and people are going to see that and know that it's okay for them to. There's not a level at which you're no longer affected by life. it happens all the time.
Yeah.
In every day we go through something. And I do believe, though, that every day is a choice.
Yeah.
You get to decide how you're going to do it. And you get to decide the tools and resources you're going to use to do it the best way. And the tool I use most days is prayer. And it works. If I'm stressed out, I'll pray the rosary on the way there.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm feeling sad, I'll pray the rosary. If I'm wondering, I'll turn everything off in my car. I'll go sit in my beautiful red chair that I love so much in my house. I'll sit in it. Just sit there.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing to do.
You're being that still cup.
Yes.
That we talked about at the
yes.
beginning.
I love that analogy so much.
Yeah.
So I think that you're going to nurture our guests so much. I'm so excited. If Ignite were a tree, what kind would it be?
I saw you sent me that question in advance, and I thought, this is an interesting question on a tree. But I love it because of the roots. I mean, I get the metaphor for sure.
Well, and I'll share with you before you answer. The yogi's tree was the tree that grows in brackish water. Do you know what brackish water is?
Is that like dirty water?
It's salt and regular together. So they only grow in certain parts of Florida where the lakes and mossy streams and rivers meet the ocean.
Yeah.
Brackish water. So I said to her, I'm like, can I get one of those? She's like, if you could make some brackish water.
That's awesome. I love learning.
Me too.
So I it's kind of maybe trite, but I was thinking of an oak tree because, insurance is very kind of slow and steady and, wants to grow, wants to be strong and stable and financially secure. And, I think a lot of people that are attracted to the insurance and financial services industry are sort of that way too.
Yeah.
And they can weather storms. They can weather the pandemic. I mean, my company's been through 2 pandemics, because we're over 137 years old. So
what was the first one?
The Black Plague or whatever, that long ago. Yes.
Wow.
And the Depression and several recessions. And so I think of, an insurance women's conference is really an oak tree. Like we are strong and resilient. For me, it got me thinking, what kind of tree am I? Like I took it even further and I thought, I think I'm a red bud. And I thought, for a couple of reasons, and I don't know if you know what that tree is, but they are my favorite in the spring because they have like fuchsia flowers on them and they bloom pretty early in the spring. And that's my favorite color. I mean, hello, I'm wearing that right now.
It's in my color, Willow.
Yes,
so.
And it's my favorite color. It gives me good energy. But if you look at their trunks, they also grow really small, but they're kind of knotty and they're not perfect. But whatever design they kind of come into, they look beautiful and they're each of them are very individual.
What kind was it?
Redbud. And that's kind of what I was thinking. That's what I am. And I hope to share kind of that vibe with
I love it.
Your tribe at
so much.
Ignite.
I have to think about what kind of tree I am. I'll have to do some thinking on that. But I love trees. But interestingly, the home that I live in, which I've lived in for 2 years, one of the windstorms last year I had a couple trees fall. And you and I both know homeowners insurance has gone up so much. And so I had to get rid of the trees. And I was so sad about it. But my neighbor, I live in kind of a persnickety neighborhood. I'm not persnickety. Well, maybe I am a little. But I am also a person that likes to keep to myself. And the back of my home faces this older couple. They're retired. And they're very nosy. And then over to the west, there's also a very nosy. And so the man to the west, I was out working my yard this summer.
Hopefully he's not going to listen to this podcast.
It's fun. I mean,
I'm teasing.
I love them.
Yes.
They're just not my people.
Yeah.
It's fine. But I was working my yard and he said, "You must not like trees much over there." And I said, "No, I don't like homeowners claims."
Yes.
Because my homeowners insurance went up $2,000 and the likelihood of them falling on my house again was high.
Yeah.
The winds in Nebraska have gotten really just fierce. Mm-hmm. And so I love trees, but I'm going to plant smaller trees that aren't as big and risky. And I love to be outside. I love collecting leaves with my grandson. Mm-hmm. There's nothing better. We tried to collect pine cones this year, but he didn't like how they felt. I think next year he'll be a little older and he'll be able to appreciate it. But he loves rocks. Mm-hmm. He's always good for collecting rocks. We went to the park and he wanted to take these branches with us. And I was like, okay. And his other grandma at the time said, "You're letting him bring those in your car?" I'm like, he wants them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
My
there's
son
no
asked for a stick for Christmas one year.
Yeah.
Because he uses his imagination.
There is no question. Yeah, we are taking these with us. And yes, they're coming in the car. And yes, I set those rocks and branches in the garage for the longest
Can I just
time.
say you're the hottest grandma I know? I still can't believe you're a grandma, but that's wonderful. I can't wait for that someday. Out in the world. Yeah.
Okay, so how can people find you if they want to reach out?
Sure. Well, social media is great. I love it. I know not everybody is on Facebook and Instagram these days, but I'm on all of those. LinkedIn, Instagram.
Liz Ring Carlson.
Yeah, at Liz Ring Carlson. It's easy enough. So I would love it to connect with anybody that's a follower of Ignite. I want to start us building that community.
Yes.
Make it special for the women that are a part of it.
Yes. Thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it. For all of you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you're notified of any new episodes. And please get yourself registered for the ninth annual Ignite Women in Business and Insurance conference. It's on March 3rd. It's right here in Omaha, Nebraska. We are limiting our guest count to 300 because we want it to be intimate as it can be at 300. So grab some friends, grab your favorite Kentucky Derby wear and fun wear for that garden party that we're going to have, and come join us and be rooted and resilient. So we're very excited for the event. Liz, I'm so honored to have you in my life, to have you as a friend, to have you as someone I look up to and I'm inspired by, and someone who's going to give their time at the Ignite conference. You are one in a million and a beautiful blessing to me. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so excited and honored to be a part of it.
Awesome. Take care, you guys. Have a great day.
See you soon.